Mm. So actually, you're asking if it's okay to use the word correct or the difference between them. Within the study, when we use correct, we're actually speaking about something that has been spoiled, has been sort of rotten, even. Okay. And then we are doing something that in correction, it suggests that there is something that we do in order to, you can say, to restore or to restore that which was spoiled. But actually, shattering is not a spoil. It's actually an act that allows us to reform. So it's true that what allows us to reform is everything to do with cooperation, which means with a general plan or stored power within creation. It is waiting for us to reveal itself. So when we use correct, it's as though we know better. When we do reform, is actually it requires some sort of an attentiveness to the form that I wish to reform myself. So something was sort of, it's almost, shattering is things not in their place. It's, let's say, the sparks are not in their place. They're not in the place where they originally served as a screen, as a cooperation with the higher. So they're misplaced. So you can say that Reformation is putting in place, which is nothing to do with correcting. Correcting has something else in it. It has the signature of of um, of actually, it's as well part of this article is the tension between where your pride is placed. When the pride is misplaced, you correct. When the pride is placed in the right place, you reform. So this is why I think, in terms of accuracy of how what language does in us when we use it in the exact way, and what it does in us when we sort of, I would say, make the corners round. Okay, so yes, there is an issue, and I think Rabash did not pay attention to that, because Hebrew is not he spoke Hebrew, but it was not his daily language. His daily language was Yiddish, and Baal Sulam, though he spoke Yiddish, he was much more attentive to the Hebrew, because in the time of Baal Sulam, it was the Renaissance and revival of the Hebrew, which was not in Rabash. It was already there, but he did not use it in his daily life. And actually, Baal Sulam started to speak Hebrew while teaching only when he got his first Sephardic student, and they did not speak Yiddish. So he had to speak Hebrew. Mm. And this is the first lesson that we hear Baal Sulam speaks in Hebrew. Okay? So, but he was very sensitive. For him, Hebrew was powerful. So reform has to do more with what we call Tikkun. This is why, for example, the Americans and sometimes the English will use Tikkun Olam as though we are correcting some misfortune of humanity, or even injustice. usually social injustice. So we can correct it. When you know from the article of Shalom and from the article of Arvut, which is the interdependency, yeah, that has to do with that, has to do with a different sense of when we think we can correct. And we say, no, this is an horrible tendency. We will uproot it. This is to correct. Okay? Yes.
Yes, it resonates very much with me, not only especially the part about pride and where pride is placed and how that come into play, because even though one tries and interpret the word correction as pure cooperation, it is not, because it's impossible for humanity to be an equal partner in creation to the creator.
Exactly.
So, all right, thank you. Thank you very much. I had another question about today's article. It was written towards the end that we should work Lishma, toward Lishma, and that once we achieve the degree of Lishma, there won't be this eternal dance of ascents and descents. And I understand that if one interprets Lishma in this sense as Tikkun, it makes sense. Nevertheless, I wonder whether it's feasible for whomever, 99% of people doing the work, to actually achieve a state. Yeah.
It's split into few categories. First, when we speak Lishma, we need to see that when the totality of oneself is dedicated to the purpose. Lishma is for the purpose, for her purpose, which can be Torah or Shekhinah. Okay, so her purpose, in terms of the illumination of Torah, it's not light. It's illumination, which means the act of light. So the definition of Torah is not the light, it's the act of light, yeah, which is called ma'or in Hebrew. So it's the act of light, actually, which brings us, so it's the action, yeah, which allow us to come into a divine consciousness of the purpose. So actually, when we get to Lishma, it speaks about a few things. Constancy, I mean, we reached a point in which there's no returning to a hidden, concealed will to receive, because we exhaust all that was within the contract of this spirit. She reached her personal, we can say, achievement of Reformation. She fulfilled her mission. Now that when we speak about transmigration within, meaning that the spirit needed to transmigrate into corporeal existence in order to fulfill her mission. When she actually fulfilled her mission, she does not need to transmigrate anymore. But this does not say that the whole mission was completed. So she stays within the spirit world, and she can be an assistant spirit to those spirits which are still within the body, and they have a similar mission. She can support them. So she will support them, but not with as part of transmigration, but as an extra spirit to particular workers. So it's not a one-dimension state when we reach the end of Reformation. It has to do with the general end of Reformation and the personal. So a person can say, well, I would say its mission was to get to a specific station in order to create the station. So other spirit can go through this station, collect what they need in order to move on to their destination. So it has to do with distinct states. Okay. So, but basically, when we speak about reaching that, it's reaching a constancy, that this movement of ascend and descend is not valid anymore. It is valid as long as you are with a struggle of the spirit within a corporeal state or corporeal reality. Yeah.
It makes sense. Thank you for the clarification, because my problem or my hesitancy was about how, if we are like the communal part of a spirit, if we're all doing the work, we will always be bound to ascents and descents because we're so many doing the work. But if you introduce the variable of an extra spirit that doesn't even need to go into the corporeal realm, then
Well,
yeah.
Think about, Nicola, for example, even within the growth of a person, there is hormone of puberty that releases or hormones of growth that actually fulfill their purpose when you reach the goal of your growth, your height. So even within our corporeal existence, there are, stations that are triggered, fulfill their mission, and then they subside. They're there, but they're not active, but they are part of the whole. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yes. It's definitely, this portion speaks about the deep interdependency of the singularity of the identity of each spiritual mission of each spirit, because we can see that actually Israel cannot move unless they are being witnessed or their appearance is being recognized. Not only recognized, it is being recognized as a threat. This is exactly what happens in us. When actually Israel appears in us, there is a recognition of the other parts of ourself, which is the will to receive to oneself that actually dominated our biography so far. And they are becoming scared that this spirit that is being awakened is going to take the sovereignty and actually the leadership of humanity. So it doesn't happen only in history, it happens in each of us. Yeah, it's starting a true war. And this is why he speaks in this article about ascend and descend. This is what is caused, because there is a huge conflict, true war in ourselves. So actually, it's how, let's say, Baal Sulam, through this portion, is suggesting to us how to deal with that, how to see it, and how to overcome it. So how to overcome it is only by faith. Because we need to rise over the conflict.